Yo, what up? My name is Freddie, Swift Style Garcia, and welcome back to the channel. All right, so today in front of me on the bench, we have the all-new Stanton STX portable scratch turntable. And yes, I said Stanton. Stanton has returned. 2017 was the last time we saw a product from Stanton, and that was with the STR8 Mark II. So Stanton is back, and they've now joined forces with InMusic. You might not be familiar with the name InMusic, but you're definitely familiar with some of their brands. And I'm lucky enough to be part of the testing team for this unit, so I'm definitely excited to see it finally hitting the streets. So without further ado, let's take a look at this machine. First and foremost, the case. The case is definitely not what you're used to seeing in, let's say, the PT01 Scratch or even the Reloop Spin. But we all know the PT01 Scratch was just a PT01 with an added scratch switch. We also know that the Reloop Spin started as a Vestax HandyTrax. But the Stanton STX, I gotta say, it kind of feels like they listened. I think we're all gonna be on the same page when we get into this thing. Now, we all know that modders are gonna mod, but I have to say the framework that Stanton has given us with the STX, I mean, dare I say, this is the perfect portable scratch turntable. Now, I know using the word perfect is a tough one, but look at it from my perspective. A young kid who sees scratching, or a young adult who sees scratching and thinks it's cool, for $249, you're in the game. For me, somebody who wants to build a community or is trying to help grow the community, that's perfect, or this is perfect. But what makes it even cooler, once they get involved with the scene, they will quickly find out that there's a world of mods and you can take this to the next stage. All right, so enough of my opinions. Let's take a look at the STX. All right, so the first thing you're gonna notice on the STX are these rubber feet. There's 4 here, and there's 4 on the opposite side. While we've got this thing flipped over, let's take a look at what powers the STX. So included with the STX, you get 2 18650 rechargeable batteries. These guys can live in the unit, and you can charge this unit via USB-C that is right here on the back. Also on the back side is where we're gonna find our power switch, our RCA outputs, our headphone outs. We've got a 1/4 inch and an 1/8 inch, and we have our stereo 1/8 inch input. So you've got these 2 locking mechanisms on each side of the case. Let's go ahead and unlock this. So those rubber feet that we have here on the top, check this out. You can now use that top as a stand. Before we take a look at the turntable, I have to mention this design right here. This slit right here is very smart because you can hook up any necessary cables through it and still use this lid. All right, so taking a look at the top of the STX, let's go over some of the layout. You guys might recognize this tone arm. This is the stock tone arm that came with the Numark PT01 and PT01 Scratch. One thing that I'm really excited to see that comes included with this unit is the new Innovator Nano. Well, I say new. I believe that the Nano is an Innovator Mini, but it's rehoused for the STX. One thing that you'll notice right away is the shorter throw. Now, it's definitely not as short as like the Scratch Switch, but in my opinion, this is a perfect size throw for a fader. Now, being that the Nano is built in, you've got some really cool options. For instance, we have our crossfader cut-in adjustment. So if you want to make it sharp or wide, and that pretty much represents where your cut-in starts on the fader. And then you also have your crossfader curve. So if you want it extremely sharp and precise, have it all the way up. If you want a little bit of a curve, you can adjust it right here. Right below that is our volume knob. Then we have a tone knob. You can think of this as a mini EQ. We've got our 33, 45, and 78 switch. I don't know why a portable would need 78, but hey, it's got 78. And I said this on my unboxing, but the most important switch of all, we have the ultra pitch switch. So now, built in with the portable, we have ultra pitch. And to control that pitch, we have a nice pitch fader right here. So as you see, we have an STX plate here. This blank spot is so you can put your Nano on the opposite side, let's say if you cut with your right hand versus your left. And once you choose what side your Nano is gonna live on, you just select the switch for it, left or right. We also have a fader reverse, so if you cut hamster, your switch lives right there. And one very cool feature is our illuminated start and stop button. I like that. Of course, the STX comes with a built-in speaker. Let me grab a record so you guys can hear how loud this thing gets. Now the audio is coming through my lapel, so it's not the best setup, but it'll give you a little bit of a taste of how loud this is. Yeah, louder than you need it, at least in an inside studio environment. As you can see here, since we've turned this on, our Bluetooth light has been blinking. That's because you can pair this unit with your phone, iPad, laptop, whatever Bluetooth device you want to send your beats in and get your cut onto. Check this out. You also have a USB record feature, so you can add a USB thumb drive to this unit and record your session. And that's a really cool feature. Let's say you're on the road and you make beats, you sample records. All you need is a USB thumb drive, add it to the slot along with your STX. So now, not only can you scratch on the go, this is kind of a perfect portable turntable for sampling records. This unit is included with this paper thin slip mat. You can take a look at that. And if you are sampling, it also comes with a built-in 45 adapter. I think we've touched on all of the unit's features. Speaking on performance, I do have to say that the platter feels a lot more stable than the original PT-01 Scratch. So I'm sure they borrowed some parts, but they also made some improvements. Also the motor. Now I haven't opened this unit up to compare this to a PT-01 Scratch, so it could very well be the same motor or slightly modified motor. But I will say at ultra pitch or at lower speeds, I haven't had any problems cutting with this thing. And the reason I bring up ultra pitch is because that's where you typically feel how bad the motor is. But gotta say, this thing's pretty nice. Now I know that some of you might be thinking when you first saw this, the design is a little bit different than we're used to seeing. But I have to say, after using this thing for months, I really like this design. I like the bigger feel of the portable. It doesn't feel so much like a toy. Now another thing that I must mention, this portable turntable only fits 7-inch records. All right, so now let's talk price point. The Stanton STX is selling for $249. Speaking of selling, I'm very proud to announce that Scratch Break is now a Stanton dealer. So if you're interested in picking one of these up, you can do so at scratchbreak.com. And if you decide to pick one up from Scratch Break, we will include any one of our 7-inch slip mats. All you have to do is add the slip mat of your choice to the cart along with your STX, and it will be discounted at checkout. If you are going to be picking this or any other Scratch related products, all I can recommend is that you at least support a DJ based company. So for instance, if you're overseas in Europe, UK, support our friends at Turntable Training Wax. You've got Open Format, you've got Mile High DJ Supply. There's plenty of local community based DJ companies that you can support. But yes, picking this up from Scratch Break does support this channel and everything we do. So that was your first look at the Stanton STX portable scratch turntable. Let me know down in the comment section if you're going to be picking this up or what you think of the new unit. I'm excited for this unit. I'm excited that companies are actually listening to us now and giving us the framework, the base of what we need to really have a cool scratch device. As always, thank you guys for all the love and support. Keep scratching. Peace. After going really hard on this thing for my first cut video for Instagram, I did notice that it can use an upgrade. Now, if you're not comfortable with modding your unit, that's perfectly fine. One quick tip is using one of these paper clips to give your tone arm the weight that it needs. Now, it might look a little funky, but this is what we used to do back in the day before anybody made any tone arms, just to give the extra weight that we needed to cut with.
Got the